Hi, and welcome to the SaVeg podcast.
I'm Rose, also known as Cheap Lazy Vegan on YouTube.
And I'm Daniel, one of your favorite guest stars on Cheap Lazy Vegan's YouTube channel.
We're two friends who love to talk about the latest trending topics.
So get comfortable and join us while we give our SaVeg take on just about everything.
You are currently listening to the previous episode of this podcast, but if you would like to listen to this week's episode and get some exclusive content, go over to patreon.com/thesavagepodcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the SaVeg podcast.
Hey, guys.
So, I just finished watching Schitts Creek, so we're going to have to talk about it. I had to pause Daniel. Me and Daniel started talking about it. I was like, we need to start recording.
Yes.
Sorry. I'm out of breath. I don't know why.
Oh, God. You're too excited.
I'm just overcome with emotions.
Oh, God damn. So
do your Moira bit, Daniel.
Oh, God.
So I can critique it.
Okay, so we're just talking about Moira, who's like one of my favorite characters of the show. And, well, I love them all in different ways.
Oh, they're so great.
They're so good. But I just love Moira because she has the most ridiculous, mannerisms. And one of them is she'll be like, oh, they don't know the troubles that a bebe can cause their mother.
Okay, first of all, Daniel, Moira Rose does not have a British accent.
I know. I love,
but it almost sounds like it's like a fake British accent, like
exactly.
a little bit.
like she's putting it on, you know. And
I just love her vocabulary. I would like half of her vocabulary.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
Right?
Honestly, when she talks about stuff, I'm just I remember one of my favorite episodes, guys. There's going to be a little bit of spoilers, by the way, FYI. So if you're watching Schitts Creek now, maybe just don't listen to the next couple minutes. But one of my favorite episodes is when they have that attack of the crows at the video premiere.
Yeah.
And then the next day, she is talking to Alexis, and they're like trying to PR spin it or whatever, and it becomes this huge sensation. And then she's like, Alexis, it's all thanks to you and the. I can't remember what she called them, but she called the crows by their Latin name or something.
Oh my God.
And I was just and I had to Google it. I was like, is this actually a thing? I feel like it's not, but it was. So
oh my God, it's just they did such a good job writing the show, and her just the way she speaks throughout the show is just so iconic. I remember one of my favorite scenes that I think I sent to you was when David did something. So David, if you guys don't watch the show, David is Moira's son. So Moira Rose is this really eccentric character with a very interesting voice, which Daniel kind of replicated pretty well, but without the British accent.
Yeah.
And she just talks really funny. Anyways.
Yeah.
So David basically backstabbed her, I guess. And then Moira sits and he's like, David, could you fetch me a knife? and then David's like, a knife? And then she's like, oh, wait, I think you'll find one lodged on my back.
So good.
Oh my God,
good.
it is so good. And then what else does she say? Oh my God, after that, it's and then David's like, this is too much.
Yeah. I just
my God, it's so good.
It's so good. The thing is with the characters though, the writing was good, but a lot of the people, the actors that came in, Catherine O'Hara, and I can't remember what the name of the girl that plays Alexis is, the woman, but basically they brought in a lot of those mannerisms for their characters.
Mm-hmm.
They picked that stuff, which made them even better. So I was like,
so
their
good.
casting was amazing.
They picked it?
Yeah, for example, Moira. I think this is in the documentary, so you have to watch this
okay.
as well.
I'll watch the documentary. Mm-hmm.
But for example, the eccentric wigs and all of that stuff, that was Catherine O'Hara's idea. She's I just want to wear a bunch of wigs. And it just makes her character that much better.
So good.
But her vocabulary, honestly, there was a scene when her and Alexis
want her vocabulary.
Oh my God, me too.
Okay, which scene? Tell me.
And it's even just basic things. Her and Alexis were sitting there, and Alexis, she had written down all these questions to ask her daughter because they were trying to bond or whatever. And then Alexis was like, oh my God, did you write all these questions? And she's like, well, don't get, what did she say? Oh my God, why can't I remember? She was like,
it's impossible to quote her because
I know.
Yeah.
It's just she was like, well, don't blame me if I had so many queries for you that I had to write them down.
Seriously, you sound like some kind of snobby British lady.
I have to think how she does. She's like, Alexis, please don't.
David.
It would be an honor to speak at your wedding.
I can't do it.
Oh my God, it's so funny. It's just like every character is so good.
It's so good. It's so good. And then Alexis is also so good. It's like, David! Ew, David! I can't do it. Oh, guys, you need to watch this show. It is like, it's so good. It's feel good. It's emotional, but it's hilarious. Like, it's literally like Angela will be like watching, like, she'll be like in her room. And I'm like watching the show, and then she like comes out. She's like, "What the fuck is so funny?" Because I'm like, I'm literally like laughing out loud. I'm just like,
I know it's and you know what the good thing is about it? Like I've already watched it all, but it's one of those shows. So I actually like got a couple of my other friends like hooked on it as well.
Yes.
And it's one of those shows where you could like just watch an episode with your friends, like no matter what. And it's just like it's like almost like Friends, where you could just pick any episode, watch it together, and it's just like so funny, especially if you've seen the whole season or the whole series. So so good.
It's so good. I'm sad it's over. What am I gonna do now? Did you rewatch it already? Did you finish the second time?
I haven't yet, no, actually. Okay. I think I'm on season 5, which is almost there. Almost done the second
Maybe
time
I'll rewatch it. Yeah. I'm too emotional. I need to relive this experience, you know? So many gems. My God, you guys need to watch it. It's so good and it's emotional.
Oh, I'm so happy that you liked it, Rose.
Yes, I really liked it. Thank you for the recommendation, Daniel.
You're welcome.
It is not every day that I listen to your recommendations and actually enjoy them. So you did a good job at this one.
Yeah. I just remember because we were talking about it, and like honestly, I don't know. I don't get that passionate. Well, I do get passionate about a lot of stuff, but this show, I just like loved it so much. And
I think it's also because you can relate to it because of David's relationship with Patrick.
That's true. Yeah.
And I think it's like, you know, it's something that's not really represented that much. Like, because if you guys don't know, there is a gay relationship that is like a big focus of the show.
Yeah.
And they like you said before, I remember you telling me that they basically like normalize it, and it's not like a big deal, but it's just like any other relationship, and they treat it like that. And I think that's what makes it like special.
Yeah.
Because like usually they don't have like the main relationship being, you know, a gay relationship. It's always like a heterosexual relationship. So I think that was really like, you know, that was interesting. Oh, it's just so good.
I know.
So good.
I remember when I like first told Rose about it though, and I was like,
yeah.
And Rose had only seen like one episode, I think, and it's hard to like if you just watch one episode, it's one of those shows you have to watch a couple and then you're hooked, right? And I remember you watched the one episode and you were kind of like, yeah, it was okay, like I don't see, you know what I mean? I was like, no,
I couldn't get into it. Yeah.
I was like, you have to rewatch it, and then I'm just like, it makes me like happy inside that Rose also really enjoyed it. So I was like, yes.
Well, I'm glad my approval means a lot to you, Daniel.
It does. You should know that by now, Rose. That's why after these podcasts, I always cry from the abuse, you know?
Oh God. Anyways, so that was the little moment that I wanted to share. I finished watching it. So I recommend watching it for those of you guys that haven't. And like Daniel said, it is one of those things. It's like a grower. You know, you got to keep watching it a little bit. The first few episodes, like it might take a little time to get used to, but then you get used to all the characters and you just fall in love with all the characters, and they're all so cute
in their own ways.
But you know what's cute? Today I went to this like little town and I was like, this reminds me of Schitts Creek.
Oh, that's so cute.
It was funny. I
was
like,
were you doing
is this
in a
what
little
it's
town?
like? Oh, my parents and I decided, because my parents like to go on these random little adventures with Nari to take her to like little dog parks and stuff. And I wanted to go somewhere kind of like a little bit, not completely out of town, but a little bit. So they just picked some random place, and it was like, it was really cute. It was like they had like a big off-leash dog park area, and it's basically a lot of land. Like, you know, Canada is a big country, and we have a lot of land surrounding us. Like as soon as you drive out of the city, it's like just fields and fields and fields. So we went there, and then I saw a bunch of cows. Aww. And they were so cute. Did you see my stories on Instagram?
I haven't been on Instagram, so I'll have to go watch them.
So we were walking in this dog park area, and it's like kind of just like in the wild, like it's like in the, you know, and they had this like farm. It's like farmland. Okay. So, I mean, unfortunately, these cows, probably in the beef industry, which makes me very sad because they were just so cute. And we were walking by, there was like a bunch of cows like on the field. And I had seen videos before where cows, you play like jazz music for cows, and apparently cows, I don't know if it's specifically jazz music, okay, but apparently they really like jazz, okay. So I've seen videos where like a guy starts like playing the fucking saxophone, and then the cows start like running up to him, and it's like the cutest thing ever. So I just randomly started playing jazz music on my phone.
Did they come up to you?
Well, at first they were just like staring at me like I was crazy. And then like slowly a few of them started like inching their way toward me. And then like eventually they got like really close. Like they kept slowly, like they would come a little bit and then they would stop, listen a bit more, and then come closer.
I wonder what it is about music.
Close. I don't know. Maybe they're just like intrigued. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the music. I don't know if it's just sounds. I have no idea. But it was the cutest thing ever. And I was just like, oh my God. Anyways.
What was the name of the small town? Do you remember?
The small town was called oh my God, let me find it.
Black Diamond? No.
Oh yes, Black Diamond. Have you been?
I haven't been to, I've heard of Black Diamond, but I've never actually been.
It's like middle of nowhere, Daniel.
Yeah. There's some cute towns outside of Alberta. Like, I mean, outside of Calgary.
I mean, it's like, it's cute, but like, there's nothing to do there. Like we went into like the little town center, and then like, there was like a Subway and like a few little shops. Like it was cute, but like again, I was like, if I grew up here, I would probably like want to shoot myself in the face. But at the same time, maybe not. Not after watching Schitts Creek. Maybe I do appreciate the quaint nature, you know?
Exactly. Well, that's one of the values that come out of Schitts Creek is enjoying those little things and those moments. And you know, one of my favorite. Okay, I'm just gonna say one last thing about Schitts Creek, guys, then I'll stop. But another one of my favorite parts was towards the end.
Okay,
Rewind.
Guys. We had to do a little cut because Daniel just said a spoiler and I told him not to. So let's just, you know, can we just not say that part?
Yeah, I won't say that part, but I'll say another part, which also, it kind of makes reference. But anyway, it shows how much also Alexis has grown as a person, because basically Alexis is about to leave to New York. Okay, you know what? I'm just not even going to go there. I'm not going to say this part, guys.
Okay, I know which part you're going to say. You can say it in a way where you don't give out spoilers. There's a girl in the show that is a prominent figure. I mean, she's not a prominent figure in the show, but she's in the show. And because Daniel just keeps saying spoilers, I'm going to just try to lay this out for him, because apparently he has a hard time understanding what a spoiler is. Anyways, so so basically there's a girl in the show that's part of the show, and we find out near the end that she happens to have more money than we thought throughout the show. Okay. Yeah. And then she says this thing to one of the family members, and it's very cute. And that now you can repeat it, Daniel.
So basically, she said to the family member about how I don't know how to word it without.
Oh my God, why are you so bad at this? She basically was like, okay, so basically the family member of which she was speaking to was like, oh my God, I didn't know you had all this money. What are you doing in this like town? Why don't you get out of here? There's so many things you could do. And then the other character that has a lot of money, she was like, well, you know, I have everything I need here. You know, everything I need is here. I don't need all of those other things. I find happiness in, you know, hearing your stories and just spending time with people here. And that's why I'm here. Is that what you were trying to get at, Daniel?
Yeah, thank you, Rose. That is exactly it.
Oh my God, Daniel, seriously, I can't. What would you do without me on this show? You would just give out the entire show. I'd give out the spoilers, and I would just be a horrible. Yeah, I was like, I don't know how you're going to edit this, Daniel, but you need to just edit just the parts where you're giving out the spoilers, because I need you to tell people that I am passionate about not spoiling the show for people.
Yes, guys, I will.
He literally, first he gave out a spoiler, and then I was like, Daniel, we can't give out these spoilers. And then he gave out another big spoiler, and I was like, Daniel, I'm very passionate about this, guys.
I just want everyone to watch this show, and I want everyone to be at the same place. I want them to
watch it and not give away the whole show, Daniel.
That's true. Okay.
I know.
Okay.
It's hard to talk about a show when it's like not everyone's watched it. But anyways,
that's true.
You are welcome, world, for the non-spoilers.
Yeah.
Now, shall we move on to news?
Oh, goddamn. And do we have some news for you?
Oh, my God. There's so much news this week.
Oh, my God. So much drama.
What has happened?
Much stuff happened. I know.
Okay, you start.
It was like the quiet. It was like no, it was never that quiet, but I feel like this week it's like everything's kicked off.
Explosion.
So, yeah, these news stories. Well, one of them we've kind of touched on because it's kind of been an ongoing story. Actually, two of them we've touched on. And then basically.
Are these all the ones I sent you? I forgot what I sent you.
Yes, they're the ones you sent me.
Just another note. Daniel pretends to be the researcher for this podcast, but actually I just send him the news and then he reads the news. Continue.
You know what? That doesn't always happen, Rose.
I mean, in the last few months, that's been happening. So
no, it's been very busy. Okay,
Daniel's been just too busy watching episodes of Schitts Creek over again. So already up to season 5 again.
Okay,
for the second time.
Anyway, guys. So the 3 stories that we're going to talk about. So the first one that we're going to talk about, kind of a fun news piece, but it's talking about a 4-day work week, and apparently Spain is going to be the first country that's looking to do like a pilot project of.
Is it the first country though?
Not like there's been other countries that have companies or things that have done it, but I think it's the biggest like biggest project.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
So there's that. We're going to talk about, well, I'm going to let Rose kind of talk about this one a bit more because this is all about the David Dobrik drama.
David Dobrik, Daniel. We've been over this.
I know, David Dobrik. I can never say his name.
Okay.
That's how important he is to me. Just kidding. But yeah, so much drama. I was like going through some of the stuff just
It's
today.
Beyond drama at this moment.
Oh my God.
It's like, it's gotten serious. Okay, continue. What's the third story?
And then the third story, which we talked about, but it just seems to be getting worse, is this racism against Asians.
Oh,
like,
God.
All across like the world. It's like huge.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so it's crazy. It's absolutely bonkers. So those are our fun little news pieces today.
Okay, so I guess we're starting with the happy story first, and then we're just going to end with doom and gloom as usual.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I was planning on the other way around, but
actually, okay. Why don't we do that? We're gonna flip it and reverse it, as Missy Elliott would say. Put your thing down, flip it and reverse it.
That was great, Daniel.
Let's start with the Asian attacks.
Oh, okay. We're flipping it completely.
Asians.
Oh my God. I mean, what is there to say? I'm sure you guys have all seen the news over the last few days. By the time this episode goes out to the public, it would have been a few weeks. But basically, there was an incident in what was the city?
Atlanta. It was Atlanta, right?
Georgia.
Yeah.
Where a man, I think he was 21, very young, and he decided to go on a shooting spree, and he specifically
surprise,
visited.
We're talking about America, guys.
Oh God, seriously! I saw like a bunch of people posting about this, and they were like, "Well, the one good thing about COVID and the lockdowns were that people were staying home, so it actually decreased mass shootings. And now that things are opening, they're back to having this shooting issue. Like, oh my God. Imagine that."
I know. Just on that note, and a little side note, guys, it's not about this story at all, but about things opening in the States. I'm not sure if any of you guys have seen the footage of spring break in Florida.
Oh, no, I did not.
Insane.
Shut up.
So
I mean, it's Florida, but continue.
I'm not even kidding you. Like, it's like mind blown. Like, there is people just in the streets everywhere, no masks, partying, doing whatever. Like, it's crazy. And they have the highest rates of the COVID in all of America now. And it's just like, oh my God, like, yeah.
How's the vaccine? I mean, they are a little faster with vaccinations in the States than in Canada.
They're doing a lot better than us in Canada, to be honest.
Yeah, we're pretty fucking slow.
With vaccinations.
Yes, but at the same time, I'm sure that not all those people are vaccinated. So
yeah,
I don't know what they're thinking.
Especially if they're doing the rollout where it's like majority of like kind of older people that are getting it first. The majority of the people that were out were like, younger and stuff. So I don't know. It's just kind of crazy. I just think, if we just hold off, like, I feel like if we hold off a little bit longer, like we're almost getting there. Do you know what I mean? Like the vaccines are rolling out. The vaccines we're going to be vaccinated soon. Like, guys, we just need to hold our breath for a little bit longer.
Apparently COVID hasn't killed enough people yet. Only a little over 500,000 in the U.S. I mean, how many people in Canada? Still a lot of people.
Yeah.
Anyways.
The global death toll is like well over 2 million, I think.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah,
that is insane.
That's more than our entire city, Rose, of people.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So kind of, so we digress a little bit here, guys. But like back to that story. So yeah, it was Atlanta, Georgia, I think. 8 people, 6 of them were Asian American women, were killed at 3 spas. It was on March 16th that this took place.
Yeah. So yeah, what do we think about this? Well, a lot of people. So I'm assuming you guys have heard of this news because it was massive news, and because it was already like tensions were brewing with this kind of news. Like they were already, like we discussed in I think the previous episode, there were these attacks against Asian Americans, Asian Canadians, all this stuff, or just Asians in general.
Yeah. And not just in Atlanta. We talked about like before the couple episodes before, San Francisco, a bunch of others. There was like, especially like elderly Asian people were being targeted, where they were just like, there was a video footage of this man being like shoved to the, like 80 or 90-year-old man being shoved to the street.
It's
like,
crazy.
Yeah. Just
So we didn't think that this was going to happen.
Oh my God. I know. And did you know, like, part of the reason why this, well, there's many reasons why this caused as big of an uproar as it did, because of all the stories that are going on around Asian, like violence against Asians, but also initially, I guess, the police were saying that this white man that was charged for the accounts of murder, they were saying that it was not racially motivated. That was like,
well, so the policeman that went out and did like a press conference, I don't know if he's a police, like charge of the police, whatever he is.
Yeah.
He basically came out and they didn't necessarily say this isn't racially motivated. They said this doesn't necessarily look like it's racially motivated. Something that.
They said the shootings, here we go. The shootings appear to be an intersection of gender-based violence, misogyny, and xenophobia.
No, that's not what the police said.
Oh no, that's somebody else. Sorry.
That's somebody. Okay, Daniel, let's report the news properly. Okay. No, I'm just kidding. No, but the main police officer, he definitely didn't say that. If he said that, I think it would have been a different story. He actually said, he almost came out as sympathetic to the person that did it. So he was like, oh, well, I think this thing went viral. I'm sure you guys have known this, but he basically said something like, he just had a really bad day and he was at the end of his rope. So that's why he said he did it. I'm like, excuse me, I've had a lot of bad days in my fucking life.
I know. I've been at the end of my rope before.
So I feel like this story brings out so many different societal issues. Yeah. Number one, mass shootings in America. Like, when are they ever going to learn this? Because the thing is,
when are they going to understand? And I know a lot of Americans are behind, like not behind the mass shootings, but behind like increased gun regulation, all of that kind of stuff.
Which is why it's so frustrating. It must be so frustrating living in that country.
I can't imagine, because I'm like, how many more mass shootings have to happen before that people like are like, okay, we need to actually have restrictions and we need to put regulation in to kind of control this. I just don't know, like what, how many more?
But Daniel, guns don't kill people. People kill people.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That's
what they say. Isn't that insane? That's the craziest logic I've ever heard in my life. Like, it's crazy how much propaganda can get you, like how far it can get you, because this is all due to propaganda from the NRA, the National Rifle Association. Yes. Who have they have so much power and so much money. They've purchased politicians, and the politicians will go out and basically spew out this nonsense. And somehow the public believe this nonsense.
Yeah. I mean,
and they think it's their like civil right.
Yeah, there's so much wrong with it too. It's crazy. Like, so they spew out this nonsense. And also like there's been, I can't remember what the story was, but it was like there was one particular like small town or something, or one particular gun shop that, was selling a ridiculous amount of guns to one person who was then reselling them on the black market. And they I don't remember the exact story, guys. You'll have to Google it, but there was a story. And I remember someone was questioning someone at this like gun company or whatever. I can't remember what the company was. And they were like, wasn't it suspicious to you that like, there was so many sales in this one particular location? Like, didn't you know that these were being resold on the, like, you know what I mean? And they no responsibility, no accountability. They just said they just want to make their sale, like, just focused on making gun sales, He's like, nothing seemed out of the ordinary to me. It's like, okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Just
how like, and the thing is, it's crazy because not to sympathize with this man who was 21 years old, but like, if he's obviously mentally, he has mental issues. Okay. It's clear. Nobody does that without mental issues, but like, put like the fact that he had a gun to begin with at that age, that's the same age that you can start drinking in America. Like, I know that makes no fucking sense. It's like, I just think that's a young age. Why do you have a gun? What need does a 21-year-old have for a fucking gun?
There's no need.
Oh my God, I can't.
And the thing is too, Rose, like the thing that's like crazy is like with guns being so accessible and easy for people to get, it automatically, even when you take out the mass shootings, obviously the mass shootings is a huge problem, but like even like accidental stuff that happens with guns, little kids getting hold of guns, like all of this stuff. And it's like all of this stuff could be prevented. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's so preventable. And I think that's part of the frustration as well, where you're like, that none of this needed to happen. Like it just is unnecessary.
I think it also triggers actually how there's also like police violence especially against Black people and stuff like that. Yeah. And a lot of times what actually happens, I think also this is because guns are such a big part of their culture. Yeah. The reason why a lot of police like shoot like unarmed people is because they think they're reaching for a gun.
Yes,
so
exactly.
Like a man could just be like, oh, I'm just grabbing my wallet, but then the police immediately think, oh, that guy has a gun. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Like, what the fuck? How is this even happening? Anyways,
I know.
Okay, so the dude. So I mean, was this racially motivated?
I mean, he went and targeted specific businesses. So they were all like massage parlors, I believe.
I want to know. I don't know if this is out. Like, I haven't really done too much into this. I haven't dug into this too much. Yeah. After this whole thing happened, because I don't know. It's just too sad and depressing. Anyways, so I'm sorry if we're not fully aware of the information. Maybe you have it in front of you, but were these places like happy ending spas? Like, were they?
That I don't know. It says that it says in this article it says that, but just says they were killed at 3 spas.
Right.
Again,
not that it matters, of course. Like he shouldn't have done it regardless, but because his excuse was that he had like a sex addiction. Okay, and these places were triggering to him. So what I want to know is like, why were these places triggering? Because some people said that it was triggering to him because he fetishizes against Asian women or something like that, or fetishizes. I don't know. Yeah, he has an Asian woman fetish or whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
But then I'm thinking, I don't know. Like it's all very confusing. I have no idea.
Yeah,
but,
I think they were a bit vague. It does make me think. And again, guys, like I don't know for sure, but the way that I've heard about this in the media and also this article that I'm reading, again, it makes me feel like maybe they were there was other stuff going on at these spas. Again, not justifying this behavior at all or anything. But maybe that was partly behind the
But I think that would. Sorry. I think that would almost. How do I say? Like, if they weren't happy ending spas, I think that would almost like prove that he was racist even more, because like, why would these places be triggering to you? I mean, I do think it was racially motivated regardless, but if they weren't like happy ending spas and they were just regular whatever spas, then like, why do you target specifically spas owned by Asians? Like, there's spas everywhere. So I don't know, but either way, like, it's fucked up. Like, he drove from like one location to the next for like 30 minutes. So it was like very specifically targeted.
Very planned, like very planned out, very targeted.
That's
like
so fucked.
I know. It's so crazy, because I think like, these like individuals were just going to work, trying to, earn their money for whatever, their kids or whoever else. And then this shit happens. You know what I mean? Like it's so sad. Like, and
then did you know that the police officer that set the whole like, oh, the guy was having just a bad day or something.
Yeah.
Turns out, so people did some digging, of course, because they were like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Like, who says that? Like, literally, who says that?
So bad.
And then I guess people did a little digging and they found that he actually bought a shirt. Like, he posted about the shirt that he purchased like months ago. Basically, that was like a very racist shirt. It was like coronavirus, like virus from China. You know, the way that like Trump says it? And it was like spelt that way. And it was like the China virus. So he purchased it and he posted about this like on his Facebook page. So clearly he has something against Asians.
Yeah.
So like, that's another thing.
It's just, it's so bad, because it's like, you're right. This story just like, one, it highlights and emphasizes like the sadness that's going on with with targeted attacks against Asians. Yeah. That's number one, which is happening, not just this story, but it's been happening internationally around the world. Also, the police not narrative. I don't know if that's the right way that I'm talking about it, but like, we see this time and time again, not just with this example, but this is a perfect example of this, of like police, whenever the culprit happens to be like a white male, it does get downplayed, or, like in this instance to be like, oh, they're just having a bad day. But like, for other mass shootings, there's a big argument. People get really pissed about this, where if the shooter happens to be of like an ethnic minority, quite often they'll say that it was, it was a terrorist attack. Whereas if it was like, somebody that happens to be white, they'll just say, oh, it was a mass shooter. Like, it wasn't terrorist motivated. You know what I mean? So it's even the terminology that the police are using.
I know, it's so messed
bad.
up. Yeah.
And in this article, they talk about how, you know, not just in America, but like the rise in hate crimes targeting Asian communities has just increased so much.
This is actually crazy.
Yeah.
Because I thought we were over this after the initial kind of, but I think Trump has something to do with it. How he kept calling it a China virus,
100%.
right? The Kung flu. Like this fucking guy needs to be sitting in jail. I swear to God. Like
I know. Like the worst, like just one stat to kind of like leave you with about like just an example. So UK police data, this is for 2020. UK police data suggests a rise of 300% in hate crimes towards Chinese, East and Southeast Asians in the first quarter of 2020 compared to the same period for 2018 and 2019.
That's crazy.
Over the past year in the UK, Chinese takeaway owners have reported being spat at, attacked.
Oh my God.
Like, it's just crazy. And even the National Health Services have reported incidents of racial abuse from patients.
Oh my God.
Healthcare workers, like nurses and stuff of like,
oh my God, honestly.
Yeah. So these are people
Who are these people is what I want to know. Like, where are you coming from? Who are you?
Yeah.
This makes no sense.
What is wrong with you? Like these are people like nurses, for example, like an Asian nurse saying that patients are giving her abuse.
Oh my God. I would I'm sorry, but like, no way I'm helping that patient.
I know. It's just absolutely insane. Like
insane.
I
don't know. What are we going to do though? Like, I don't even understand. Like, I was like, oh my God, I feel like I need to talk about this. But at the same time, I'm like, what do I even say about this? Because obviously I'm against this. Obviously it's bad. Obviously I don't want this shit to happen. But like, I don't want to just post something like stop Asian hate. Like, again, nothing against anybody that's doing that. Like you know, that's awesome. But like also me doing that seems, I don't know, almost not pointless, but you know what I mean?
It's, I get it. Like, I mean, it's almost like what can we do as as individuals of society to like improve this or make this better overall?
Yeah. Because it's a little different from, not that Asians don't have any sort of systemic issues, but I think it's a little different from the whole Black Lives Matter incidents where it's a lot more ingrained in the society where like, you know, there's a lot more history with Black Americans and white Americans and, you know, like all of the discrimination, and it's very, very systemic. Whereas like the Asian hate crimes are kind of like a little bit outside of that. You know what I mean? Again, there has been systemic, you know, discrimination against Asians as well. But with these situations, it's slightly different and it's outside of that. So it's like these violent attacks from like random people.
Yeah. Well,
so it's like, what are we to do?
Yeah. And I think really like what's happened here, the like huge spike that we've seen globally is a direct result of this coronavirus and misinformation from, you know, Donald Trump and everything else. And the thing that gets me is if you think about it just makes me so frustrated, guys. Like when you think about a virus, like especially because a virus, like think of a virus, right? A virus knows no race, knows no sex, knows no sexuality. It literally knows nothing, and it will just fuck up whoever's there. You know what I mean? It's going to spread regardless of who's there. So like, I just don't understand why people have got it in their head that like this is an Asian virus. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just... It's
because it originated from China. So they think Chinese people brought it to America. That's what they think.
Which is so fucking stupid.
Yeah. Like, it could have been a fucking white tourist in China that brought it to fucking America.
Exactly.
Like, who the fuck cares? And it's your fault for spreading it so fucking wide. It's the same people that are blaming the fucking Asians. The same people that are blaming Chinese people that are also like anti-maskers, fucking anti, you know, lockdown. I'm like, bitch, Asia actually kind of handled this a little bit better than you did. So maybe you should actually like do what they're doing.
Take some notes and maybe,
oh my God, honestly, it's shocking.
But it's just like, it's like how fucking stupid are people to be like, oh, you know, so if we're saying a virus originates from another country, we're going to like whatever nationality that country is, we're now going to be racist against those people.
If
like,
it came from France, would it have had the same impact?
Probably not.
Because they're white people. Seriously.
Exactly. But if it came from like some you know, like a country, I don't know, like Nigeria or something like that.
Oh, 100%. It would have been racist as fuck.
Exactly. Which again, like honestly, people, and I know most of, like actually pretty much all of our listeners are like very like, you know, they get it, but like just so frustrating because it's like,
I know,
how can people be so stupid?
I know. That's why I'm like, is there even hope? Like again,
is
like
there hope for
if
humanity?
I post, if I post stop Asian hate, the people that are going to see it are the people that already know that like we shouldn't hate Asian people. So it's like me posting this is not going to get to, you know, fucking dumbass over here, you know?
Yeah.
The fucking racist bitch over here. Like, it's not going to get to those people.
Yeah, this is the thing that's kind of actually frustrating for me too, is right now, like, I wonder what's, like, obviously we're talking about on this podcast, but again, like I said, our audience is already going to be, you know.
Yes, we're preaching to the choir.
Exactly, we're preaching to the choir. That's the word I'm looking for.
That's the phrase.
Thank you. The phrase that I'm looking
English
for.
English teacher Rose over here.
Thank you. But yeah, like what can we do as individuals? That's what I'd like to know. Like, what is something that we, you know, we could do? So maybe like, you know, if you guys have any suggestions as well, or like ideas, I don't know. I would like to hear them because I wouldn't mind. Well, I would like to do something as well. Like, to even if it's something little, like a little thing that I could do that could make like a little difference. So yeah, I think that's a good one to brainstorm on and think about. All
right. Well, that started off on a very depressing note. What's the next depressing story? Oh, I know.
Oh gosh, you know.
We have some situations. So I think it was the last episode or the 2 episodes ago?
I think it was 2, yeah.
Okay, where we discussed a YouTuber named David Dobrik. He is a ridiculously famous YouTuber. Who got in some hot water. Is that the right phrase? I don't know. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, very good, Rose.
So basically, in the last time we talked about David Dobrik, it was a situation where he had one of his friends, like one of his members of the vlog squad, which is a group of people that like to film together. And he did a prank on this guy, basically getting him to kiss another guy without his knowledge. So that was like the extent of like the trouble that he was in. Now... shit has hit the fan, my friends. There has been a lot more.
Well, exactly. I was just going to say, just going quickly back to that story though, they did it twice. So they fooled this guy, like tricked him twice to make out with another guy. And then the reason why the story kind of blew up and stuff is the guy had expressed how he felt kind of like assaulted and felt, and then for the longest time up until now, David Dobrik hadn't apologized to
David Dobrik, Daniel. Oh my God.
I can't say his name. Okay.
I don't know why you can't say his name. Dobrik.
Why is it not Dobrik?
A female deer.
Okay, David Dobrik. Anyway, and then there was a big thing.
I don't know why that bothers me.
I know, it really does. But like he also didn't apologize to the guy. So like there was
he was silent. There was nothing. Silent. So that's another thing. So this guy was silent. I think that was his move for a while. He was just like, okay, I'm just going to be silent. It's going to blow over, whatever. Turns out that I think Insider or some kind of publication published, was it Insider, Daniel?
I have the article here, yeah.
Okay. Published an article which basically went into full on detail that came from a different victim. Yeah. So there was another victim of what we will call SA, which is sexual assault. Yes. I don't know if we're allowed to say that in YouTube circles. So guys, if I say SA, it means sexual assault. And then if we say R, it means rape. If you guys don't want to, by the way, if you don't want to listen to this, it's kind of like, it's quite disturbing. It's a pretty
intense story. Yeah.
So feel free to skip this part, maybe skip to the, I don't know, like 15 minutes or something. Yeah. It's a bit disturbing. We're not going to get too into detail, but like, if you don't like this type of topic, then feel free to skip it. But basically this girl that was, I think 20 or something, very young at the time, before, I think she was not the legal age of drinking in the United States, which is 21.
She was only 20.
Okay.
She was only 20. Yeah.
And then she was invited to this, I think it was David Dobrik's house with like, you know, a bunch of these vlog squad members, and it was her and her friends. And then I guess, like, long story short, they gave these girls alcohol. They were all drinking, you know. First of all, they were all minors, and so that's already a little bit questionable. And these guys are a lot older as well, like not too much older, but they're definitely older than these girls, which is another troubling thing. Anyways, I guess they were all drinking. One of the girls got super wasted and she like blacked out.
Super drunk. Yeah.
Yeah. Which, I mean, we've all been there, so we know what that's like. Exactly. And then later on, she found out that she was somehow in some kind of threesome with one of the guys and another girlfriend, I believe. So it was, and she had no recollection of this. Means she was very, very intoxicated. Apparently she was throwing up. She was just like not, you know, coherent enough to give consent. So yeah. Anything to add, Daniel?
Well, yeah, that's it. I mean,
that's the gist of it.
Yeah, that's the gist of it. Basically, what had happened, like Rose said, is this girl and a few of her friends all under the legal drinking age of of 21 in the States. They were all 20. Went to his house to, again, because David, he does these types of videos that are like controversial, like kind of prank style videos. You know what I mean? Like,
which I didn't even know he did this shit. Like,
yeah.
Anyways. So yeah, they were trying to like, make it a big thing, right? So they were trying to be like, oh my God. So the reason why David's in kind of trouble is because he's not the one that was like actually doing the SA part, okay?
Yeah.
But he was like very much encouraging it.
Yeah.
Not just present, but like fully encouraging it to happen so that he could get it for the vlog. He could be like, oh my God. I think the guy that did it is called Dirty Dom. I mean, what a great name.
Oh my God, I know. So I guess the people that had gone, they were all like students that had gone. There was like 7 of them, I think, or something that went to David Dobrik's house.
Good job.
And I guess the other guy that was on the vlog squad, the Dom guy, Dirty Dom or whatever, he played a character in the vlogs, like typically that was like this sex addict. Like he was. Oh my God. That was his character, right? And
clearly he wasn't playing much of a character.
I know. Well, this is the thing. This is what the comment was. The comment was they didn't know where that character started and ended, and they weren't sure whether they were actually supposed to be having sex with him that night. They were like not sure.
Oh, so the girls that came over.
Yeah. And then they wrote over direct message on Instagram. They were like, the sexy stuff won't be in the vlog, right? ? Right. So they were like asking, because they probably went. And again, feeling really like they're young girls, right? Like, and they're seeing these guys that are like quite wealthy YouTubers
and famous,
and like all of this stuff. So they're in a very much a place of like, feeling. I can't remember what the terminology is, but like,
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, you guys know what I mean.
They're in the vulnerable position, whereas David is in the power position.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, so basically, again. There's so many, like there's quite a few things wrong with this story. So number one, the fact that they were providing these girls with alcohol that were clearly underage, that wasn't great. The fact that one of these girls, they did get way too intoxicated. There was actually a picture, I guess, that surfaced from this party.
Oh God.
And that you could see in the picture. I can't remember where I saw it. It was on like another podcast. They like posted this picture. And the girl, you could they blurred her out a little bit, but they were like, this is the girl, and there's her friend like holding her up. Like that's how drunk she was.
I need to see how old David Dobrik is.
Yeah.
Like when did this happen? This happened a couple years ago, or?
Yeah, it was a couple years ago. And so
okay, he's 24 years old. My God.
Okay. So Dobrik is that all how old he is right now?
Yeah. So he must have been, okay, you know what? He was a little bit young. So the drinking part, I can almost but there were some fucking adults there as well. I'm pretty sure. Like he was probably one of the young ones. But anyways, the drinking part, I will let that one slide. I know how, again, people are stupid. When I was 20 something, I was stupid. But there's a line that shouldn't be crossed.
Exactly. Again, the underage drinking isn't great, obviously.
I mean, it's also a little bit it's also like already a bit predatory. That's what we were going for. It's predatory when it's people that you don't even know. I think that's the biggest problem. It's like, it's not just, you're just buying a bunch of kids booze. Like, it's not like your younger sister or something that you're just buying some booze. These are girls that just came over. You don't even know them. And you're going to get them drunk so they could, I think they got them drunk so that they could loosen up for the vlog. Maybe they were nervous or something.
Yeah.
And they wanted them to be so entertaining. Oh my God. It's so fucked up.
This. I know, get this. So this is why David's getting a lot of backlash for this though, because he might not have participated in the SA or the R, but he was very much present. He filmed what was going on. And they also said later he edited and uploaded the footage as a quote unquote threesome plot a few days later in a vlog called She Should Not Have Played with Fire. That's what it was called.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
okay. So many things wrong with this story. First of all, what happened to, okay, first of all, here's the thing. Who is watching these vlogs? Because honestly, I knew about this David Dobrik guy. I knew of his existence. I've seen him in different interviews and stuff, but I've never actually watched his vlogs, the ones that he's famous for. So I literally thought he was very family friendly and maybe not very, but I always thought he was, just having fun, being crazy, whatever. I did not know that there was sexual things in his vlog. I had no idea. So who is, and he worked with like big brands and shit. Like a bunch of brands dropped him recently, but he works with like a huge number of like very well-known brands. I'm like, is no one like watching this shit? Like, and who was watching this vlog when it came out? Clearly nobody had a problem with it when it came out. That's another problem that I have.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is it. So apparently, so he edited, uploaded this footage. So he filmed, edited, uploaded. Then the girl that was in the vlog, who the insider is calling Hannah, that's not her real name, but before it was, so the vlog was uploaded, and then before it was deleted at Hannah's request, it was viewed 5 million times.
Oh my God. And nobody probably said anything.
I'm not sure. Maybe they commented in the video.
Maybe there were some comments. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming that a lot of people also that watch his content is young people. So they wouldn't necessarily, again, I'm sure it was edited so that it just seemed like, oh, like these girls came over and it was consensual, whatever. Right. Like, so they don't fully understand the kind of the scope of, you know, consent is a little bit more complicated than just, oh, like she said yes. But like, it's a little different when you had to like badger her and constantly ask, because I think that's one of the problems that they said. They're like, oh, we had to convince them with alcohol. They didn't say it like that, but basically that's not consent, bro. But like if you're 15 years old watching these dumb vlogs, you're not going to know what consent is. So great job sending out that kind of message. Oh, it's just so fucked up.
It's so the whole concept of consent, I feel like it's not that difficult. Like, it's not that difficult to understand if somebody is that intoxicated and can't function. Like, first of all, you should know. Anybody should know. Right. Like, no matter what, you should know that person cannot consent, right? Like, if they're so...
Well, okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing about consent as well, which I'm not excusing anything. Yeah. But... And I'm not talking about this particular situation, but like there are situations where like two individuals can get drunk together and they, you know, perform. But I don't think this situation was really like that. I think this situation was very much like, let's get them drunk. Yeah. So that's the problem.
Rose, I think there's like a little, like, I agree with what you're saying, but at the same time, I think there's a little difference with like, you know, two people getting pretty intoxicated and having sex, right? Versus somebody being more relatively sober. I mean, not sober.
Yes, but that's the difference. Yeah. That's one of the big differences.
Yeah, or even if you're both a little bit drunk, but then somebody's like that next level drunk where they're basically blacked out. Like they can't stand. Yeah. They can't do, you know what I mean?
It's like a young girl. Like
exactly. And like
oh God, I'm just trying to imagine. Like it's one thing that's like, okay, you know what? You went to some dumb party and then like whatever. But then the next thing is like you literally don't remember like having a threesome. And then that being posted online. YouTube. But what I want to know is, was it apparent in the vlog that she was drunk? See, or did they? I don't know. Okay. Anyways. Yeah. So anyways, there's like a whole situation. So it's obviously gotten a lot darker than we thought, you know, I mean, it was already kind of bad before, but like now it's like on a whole new level. So now, you know, so David finally, I think after this article came out.
It was after the article. Yeah.
Of course.
And he's getting so much backlash.
Oh my God. He did this apology video
from this article.
But did you watch the apology video?
I watched a bit of it. It's only like 2 minutes long, isn't it?
Oh my God. It was so bad. I have not seen a worse apology. It was clearly just like, here are the talking points. Like the lawyer basically just wrote down what he needed to say.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And he just sat down and he posted this on his like third channel that like nobody watches. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people watch it, but like it's like his smallest channel, which like, come on, dude. You didn't think people were going to dig this up? It makes you look so much worse when you post it on your third channel. Everyone's going to know you posted on your third channel. But anyways, that was him trying to like cover it up, right?
Yeah.
And then he just like was so vague and he was like, I make so many videos and, you know, sometimes like I miss the mark. And then he just said it like, and to Seth is the guy that was praying to kiss another guy. Yeah. He said, and to Seth, I'm sorry. Like, it was like the most like disingenuous sorry I've ever heard.
It was so bad.
Oh, it was so bad.
And like, I'm sorry, but like, this is not about you missing the mark on a video, okay? This is like beyond that. It's like the fact that you filmed, edited, and, you know, uploaded this footage of somebody that was clearly too intoxicated to make, you know, to give consent to do any of that stuff that was going on, wouldn't have consented probably to the video anyway, to do that, for that kind of style of video. You've just crossed so many lines. It's not about missing the mark. It's about, you know, what kind of person does that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's so bad.
Anyway, so now he's this is like huge news in the YouTube world, and now this guy was like he still is. He's a multi-millionaire. Like he, hangs out with celebrities and shit. Like he's one of the biggest YouTubers, and now he's being dropped by all kinds of brands. I mean, I don't even.
Like basically huge brands. What I want to know though is, this article came out and obviously this story has just been exploding. Everyone's talking about it because obviously there was like the Seth situation that happened, which was bad. And people were like, oh, we're already starting to like, that's not good. Like that's, and then this next story, which is even darker, comes out, not to undermine what happened to Seth at all, because that was still really bad. I want to know, like, I don't actually know, like, his apology when that happened. Was that before or after brands started dropping him? Do you know what I mean? Like, because a lot of brands, like, there's a venture capital fund that was invested in his like app that he was going to launch.
Right.
They've pulled out funding. He stepped off from that app. Like, he's no longer on it. Tons of huge brands have dropped him about this. So did the apology come
No, I think he apologized first. And then because he apologized, actually, I'm not sure. It happened very quickly. So basically, I think the article came out, and I think he kind of knew the article was coming out, which is why he probably prepared the apology for when the article came out or something. And then right after that, it was like it hit all the news outlets, and then all these brands started dropping him.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I think it's a bigger societal issue of, once again, it's like, how far are people willing to go for content and to be famous and to create content? Like, these are real people's lives that you're kind of like messing with here. Like, all I know is that when I'm 20 and I'm getting wasted at a party, the last thing I want is for any of my friends to see videos of me doing that, let alone 5 million fucking people.
But that's why I have to say, one thing that, I am thankful for. I think technology brings like a lot of good things and everything else, but I am so thankful. Like, when we were growing up, like, the smartphones kind of came out a little bit after, like, they were starting to come out, but like, honestly,
we had it, but it wasn't as like social media.
Exactly. There wasn't. So, and like, the thing is like, very rarely, like, even if someone got really drunk at a party, like, not everyone would have a good quality camera on their phone that would be like recording. Do you know what I mean? Whereas now it's like, if something crazy happened, everyone's getting their phones out, Instagramming, doing all this stuff. So it's like, I'm so glad that, like, especially in my like younger and crazier years, where I'm like, I just, there's, of course, we make stupid decisions.
we got some gems in there for photos, but
we did.
Yeah, like, it's not as like, let's film a video of this and post it immediately. There's no like Instagram stories, for example, where you can just like post it immediately.
Exactly.
And everyone can see it right away. that kind of shit. I don't know. It's crazy.
It's just, it's bad. It's a really sad story, I hope, I hope it just raises again more awareness around, SA and, have the importance of, and the braveness of these people that are coming forward and saying this stuff, and because it takes a lot for somebody to come forward and even talk about what happened to them and their story. So, a lot of kudos to Hannah. Well, I say Hannah, but whatever her real name is, especially if something like this happens to somebody from a like quote unquote celebrity, they're less likely, I feel like, because they're more concerned they're gonna get backlash.
Like, for sure. It's so crazy.
Very, very brave girl. And just really, really sad. And, I hope, it seems like, there's nothing's ever gonna make up for what happened, but it's just like, it seems like the people, there is having some backlash and some repercussions for these people's mistakes and things that they shouldn't have done.
And then another part of the story that I remembered is that, so the girl, the one that came forward, I guess like soon after that video came out, I don't know if it was soon after, but like a little after that video came out, she sent a very long message to that Dirty Dom guy. She sent this like long text message kind of explaining how she felt about the night. She said she was intoxicated. She doesn't remember anything. Like, she basically just like said like it was very uncomfortable. She was traumatized, all that stuff. She said it in a nice way, to somebody that like did that to her. But she was like, can you please take the video down or something? And then I think he just wrote like, okay, will do. We'll take it down. Like, it was like, she sent this long ass, like heartfelt, like, I'm like she's like a victim. She's traumatized. And then this guy was just like, okay, I'll take it down.
Yeah, sure. I'll take it down. No worries. Like,
what the fuck? No apology, nothing? And clearly that's like, to me, that's admission of guilt right there that you did it. Because like if you didn't do it, you would have been like, hey, excuse me, like what are you talking about? You were completely sober, whatever it was. Oh God, it's crazy.
It's so bad. And like, again, I don't know these people, but if somebody ever came to you with that, you know what I mean? Not that we would ever be in these situations, but like if somebody came and was like, oh my God, you know, Daniel, the other night, something that you did made me feel so uncomfortable, blah, 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 blah. Like I would feel so bad. And I would be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, tell me what it is. Like, I'm, you know, how can I make it up to you? Like, you know what I mean? Like I would, that would be my normal thought process. And what I'm just like, I hate when I hear like this kind of stuff. Like this girl again took the time, and she was probably so nervous to do that as well. Reach out to him, tell him how uncomfortable she was, and also letting him know to take down the video. Like, and then his response is just terrible. Like, oh God. What is wrong with society?
Okay, well, let's move on to the kind of happy story. Do we have the happy story? Kind of.
Yes, we do have a happy story, Rose.
Okay, Daniel, would you like to give us the happy story?
Oh, God damn, Roses. So the happy story, guys, is, I guess, Spain is going to trial a 4-day work week. And the question is, could the idea go mainstream post-pandemic?
Ooh. So they're trialing a 32-hour, I believe, work week in Spain instead of the traditional 40-hour work week. And how many people are they trying it with?
It just says here in the article, so blah, 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 blah. Earlier this year, the Spanish government agreed to begin a small nationwide trial of a 4-day work week. And we'll meet in late March to hammer out the details. The concept itself is not new, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't actually say the number of people in this article.
I think they might do something similar in Sweden or something. I'm not. I think they do like a 6-hour work day or something like that. And they've proven that to be quite successful. And they say that people, I mean, we've all been, you know, I mean, not all of us, but like a lot of us have worked, you know, 9-to-5 jobs. It's very hard to stay productive for those 8 hours. Let's be fucking honest. So there's a lot of like, I think almost science behind, you know, shorter work hours and productivity. Yeah. So it's interesting.
Well, the thing that's interesting as well is like, we have this whole concept of the like 9 to 5, you need to work 40 hours. Like, but that's been like drilled into us.
It's so stupid.
And it's like, I see they did mention about this whole reducing the work week for certain industries, not certain industries, but like more like, actually they said it would benefit most industries in general, even ones that were like, for example, let's say you're building a house. Like if you have a 4-day work week, like for certain employees, it's not going to be as productive as a 5-day work week because you need to constantly be building the house. But if you alternate people's shifts, those individuals might be more productive during their shift, if that makes sense.
Right.
So it is actually, in general, like more productive. I guess,
who even came up with this 5-day work week bullshit anyways, and 8 hours a week, 8 hours a day anyways? Like, where did this magic number come from? And how is it such a cookie cutter, you know, number for like almost every industry? Like other than, you know, trades, you know, doing the trades and stuff. But like if you're working at an office, most of the time you're going to be working
Monday
or expected
Friday,
to work.
9 to 5.
Yeah, it's so fucking dumb. I don't understand.
Yeah. And it's crazy because like, it's so dumb because, you know, even if during your day you finish all your meetings, you do have maybe some admin stuff, but like really you're done for the day.
And you can't leave.
You stay at the office. Like you have, like you will
so stupid.
Yeah, like you will be staying at the office until somebody like around 4:35. You're expected to be there. And the argument was like, if you cut the work week to 4 hours 4 hours. Oh God, that would be amazing. A 4-hour work week. If you cut it to 4 days, the argument is like, actually you start to like become more productive at your work because you know, one, you have less time to complete the work. Right? You have only 4 days. And also in doing so, you also cut out some of the like unnecessary staying at the office to hit those hours. Right. So
like I remember when I worked in an office, like there were so many days when I'm just like, I have so much extra time. I'm like, I don't even have a project. Why am I sitting here? And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm just going to do personal shit because what else am I going to fucking do here, dude? Like I can ask for work, but at the same time, it's like I can get that task done in like 10 minutes. I don't need another 4 hours here. And I've had so many instances like that. And I'm just like, why am I even here? So it's like, you can get the work done much faster. Like, let's say there's 2 people and then like one person gets the work done a lot faster, but the same amount of work gets done.
Yeah.
But then you still have to sit there like a fucking idiot because you have to fulfill those 8 hours.
I know.
I don't understand.
I know. I really think it should be like more, it depends on the
on the job. Yeah.
I'm thinking of like the jobs that I've had and stuff. I feel like it should be more project based and more like, for example, like there's definitely times where I have to work like, overtime and I have to put in a few, like, there's like a week where I'm like working late in the office because it does have to get done. But then there'll be another week where there's not as many projects on or whatever else. And you actually could leave early every single day, but you don't because you don't have that balance. And
yeah, I don't know. It's so stupid.
It's just crazy. And I think also there was something to be said about, making sure that there's enough vacation time and breaks from work as well. To be able to enjoy and refresh and part of
and actually have a life.
Exactly. Part of the productivity argument as well was like, if you work 4 days, we mentioned about how your productivity increases, you have less time because you have less time and everything else. Yeah. But also they were saying because you get 3 days to recharge, when you come back to the office, you're more invigorated, you're less stressed out.
Yeah.
You have more time to kind of like recharge as a person. So naturally, and a workforce that's like happier, less stressed, has time to pursue some of their hobbies, everything else, they are going to perform better at work. So when they are at work, they're going to make more use of their time than somebody that's super high strung, super stressed out. That person's, and also they said in a few studies that they did that when they changed to a 4-day work week, there was less absenteeism. There was less people calling in sick, which is so interesting as well. But it makes sense, right?
It makes sense because they have an extra day and they also probably like feel maybe more appreciated at work as well because they're given, an extra day off. So they feel like, they owe something more to their, employer or something. There's so many, things. And I think it's not surprising that Spain is doing this out of a lot of countries. They have a lot more kind of mindset of, let's take a nap every afternoon or let's go chill over there. They're much more like, let's live our lives, work to live, not live to work, know?
But I think there's, and I think there is something to be said. Like it's good to find a balance, obviously, but I think it's so important. And I think especially like the US is like the epitome of like,
Asia
and
countries.
Asia. Yeah. It's like, and Canada to some degree as well. Like, it's like, we're pushed to this idea of like, pushing ourselves to the breaking point where it's like, there's so much more to life than like just your job and everything else. Like there's so much more to enjoy and everything else. And I think it's sad if you like look back on your life and all you've been doing is working for so much time and you haven't enjoyed it as well. Like,
I know it's so sad, but like, I think it's such a cultural issue where we've developed this culture that, centers around work. Like, this is like, and anytime you meet someone, you're like, so what do you do? That's like one of the first questions people ask, And so, and then if you're working fucking Monday to Friday, 8 to 4, 9 to 5, whatever it is, that is the majority of your day that you are spending at work. The morning doesn't really count. Not many people wake up early in the morning to do stuff before morning. And then by the time you get home, it's dinner time. You have dinner, and then you have like 3 hours before dinner, after dinner, to like live your life. So like, it's crazy. Like we're basically like slaves in this fucking system.
Oh God.
And anyways, well, good luck to Spain. Hopefully this will trigger some kind of, societal conversation about work and life, and it's crazy.
Yeah, I hope it's like a catalyst for more companies talking about it and more, having this more flexible work-life balance. I do fear that some companies might look at it in a certain way whereby, they'll do 4-day work weeks, but then they're going to pay people less. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
that's what I'm wondering as well.
Yeah, they're going to do like, if you're working only 4 days, then you're going to get paid 4/5 of your salary.
Right.
Even though you might be doing the same amount of work and actually be more productive. You know what I mean? Like they actually said, I think it was in Japan, they did a study or something where when Microsoft, I think it was Microsoft in Japan or something, whereby when they reduced it to a 4-day work week in 1 month, I think it was like the month of August or something, the employees were actually 40% more productive which is insane.
Wow. Yeah.
Just to reduce from a 4-day work week.
But it's actually a psychological thing where I think during COVID, we've all learned this. I've learned it for sure. When you have more time to do something, you are more likely to procrastinate and be less productive.
100%.
Think about exams, projects. The more time you have, the more likely you're going to just dick around until the last minute anyways.
100%. Exactly.
Yeah. I work a lot better under like a time, a time constraint.
Yes.
Which I've definitely learned during COVID. I'm like, I'm going to be so productive. I'm more productive when I'm busier and I have less time to do certain things.
This is it. Like, this is like, and I found this as well, just being in all my lockdowns and quarantines and everything else. Like, I've had a lot of time this year.
Oh my God, you've had a lot of time.
Oh God. And it's so interesting because like when I have all that extra time and I'm not busy, I definitely am less productive.
Yes.
I'm less organized. I'm like, I can do that tomorrow or I can do that the next day.
Yes.
Whereas when you're like, I have 4 days to get this done, like it has to get done. Like, I don't have Friday. You know what I mean? So I just feel like, it just makes it so much better. Like it's so much more productive. Sorry.
Yeah.
But I also think what needs to be revisited is not just necessarily just the 4-day work week. That's part of it. Like some form of that, but also like the North American specifically, and I think in Asia as well, is another thing that I think Europe does a lot better is vacation
days. I knew it.
So like,
I know you so well, Daniel. I knew what it was coming.
Yeah. I've been quite fortunate, to be honest. Like every job that I've had in Canada, I've started with like 4 or more weeks of vacation time.
What, Daniel?
Yeah.
Excuse me?
I know, right?
4 weeks from your first office job. Shut up.
I know.
That's unheard of in Canada.
I know. I've lucked out. So whereas some companies, it's 2 weeks, and some of them I've heard, and I couldn't believe this. I think it was one of my friends or somebody started this job, and it was 2 weeks after their first year at the company. So I was like,
what?
They go a year
Isn't
without.
That illegal?
I thought it was, but one of my friends actually didn't get their vacation until a year after they were at the company.
That sounds illegal. I'm pretty sure you have to give a minimum of 2 weeks. So in Canada, I believe it's the minimum 2 weeks. So some companies will just give minimum 2 weeks. I think for me, it was the shortest I had was 3 weeks, which to me, I was like, that's already too fucking short, but okay. Like I'll take it. But yeah, in Europe, I think it's 4 weeks in most countries. Yeah. At least.
So most of them is minimum 4 weeks. Like most of the places that, and actually a lot of the European companies, that's the minimum, but a lot of them give you more. Like my jobs that I had in the UK, I think my first one was 5 weeks. I had 5 weeks holidays, and then the next one was 20. I had 28 days. Damn. So like a little bit over
28 working days, right?
Yes, 28 working days. So
Daniel.
Over 5 weeks. Yeah. So that was amazing.
See, we shouldn't even be like, this shouldn't be like, oh my God, that's such a luxury. Like that should be the norm. If not, like there should be more. Like I feel like the more I like live on this earth, the more I'm like, oh my God, like we're just put on this earth just to work. Like that's all we're expected to do.
Oh God damn, Rose.
Until we fucking retire when we're like, we don't even have strength to do anything.
I know the whole like way that we have our society, like
it's so fucked up.
It's crazy. It's crazy, guys.
We can talk
about all these crazy societal things, but I really hope that this, really yields some great results in Spain, and really is a catalyst for other countries to start like thinking about this stuff.
This could be a good like, selling point for companies when they're hiring talent. They could be like, hey, like we want the best of the best, and we give. We are only doing 4-day work weeks, and also I think it could also kind of maybe help with like unemployment, because then they could potentially hire more I don't know, because then that means they would have to pay people less.
Exactly. So if it depends how they're doing it. If they're implementing it where they're paying people less, then they could hire more people because you need to fill up those other days. That, you know what I mean? But if
how do we feel about that though?
See, I don't know. There's pros and cons, right? Like the pro would be like employment could be, improved. But then a con could be people are working more for less money because even though they're working 4 days, they're being more productive, and yet they're not being rewarded for it. And, at the end of the day, a lot of these companies, this is going to sound really bad, but
say it.
They can afford to pay their employees more anyway.
Oh, for sure.
But every single company and corporation, they're always like so focused on the bottom line and so focused on making those cuts and making that profit that like, that ultimately goes to to shareholders that hold shares in the company if it's a publicly traded company, and you know, based on that documentary that I was watching, the one that we both watched on Capital. Capital.
Yeah.
I think it was 85% of the U.S. shares are owned by 15% of the population. So really that growth and that wealth distribution is going away from the worker bees still, even in a company, and going to shareholders who are that top like 15%, right? So
yeah. Oh my God, it's so messed up.
It's
so anyways,
crazy.
We've somehow spun this positive story into a negative one. No, but I mean, we'll see what happens in Spain. I mean, I think we all know what's going to happen. I definitely think that there is a huge validity to having a shorter time of work and getting more things done during that time. Like, it just makes sense. There's 100%. No need. You're probably going to get, like, imagine that you get more work done in a shorter amount of time and your employees get an extra day off. They're happier. I mean, it's a win-win situation. It's a win-win situation.
And those are the best kind of situations. I love win-wins.
Yes. Yes, Daniel. I also love win-wins.
I do. They're the best. Me and Rose don't have them very often. Usually it's a win-lose and I'm the loser. So.
Oh, Daniel, you crack me up. Anyways, well, maybe you can float this idea to your boss, guys. What do you think? What do you think of a 4-day? See, the thing is, it shouldn't even sound ridiculous, you know? But I know that, like, if people said that to their boss, they'd be like, excuse me, like, why are you trying to slack off? You know? Like, it'll be spun that way.
Exactly. Oh, well, if you're taking that extra day off, like, you're not going to get paid for it. So you gotta be there. You gotta show up. You gotta sit at your desk, and we need bodies in the office.
Oh my God. It's so
make
messed
the place
up.
Look busy. Yeah. It's kind of crazy.
It's actually kind of crazy. How do we, anyway, it's a fucking, once again, we come back to, the greatest enemy, which is what, Daniel?
Capitalism. No, like, okay, you guys.
But
like,
actually.
Me and Rose talk about this a lot. It's not just capitalism. It's just the way.
It pretty much is.
Yeah. It's just greed and capitalism, unregulated
capitalism. is, yes, unregulated capitalism is, but that's basically the essence of, like, capitalism, is that it's a free market, you know?
Exactly. So yeah, it is.
It feeds the greed. Greed is born from this system where it's based on profit and simply profit motive and growth. And we're also entrenched in the system that we can't, like, leave this system. Oh my God. I'll leave you with one thing that I kind of, like, I was watching this over the week. It's a documentary on Netflix. It's about the Unabomber. Have you heard of the Unabomber?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Have you seen the documentary?
I haven't. No.
So it's like a 4-part series or something. And so this guy, to give you guys a little context. So this guy, I guess in the 80s and 90s, was anonymously sending out bombs. Right? Mailing out bombs to, like, random places, but not random places, but, like, kind of like universities or, like, scientists, like people that are kind of in power. And he would just, like, mail them specifically to these places. And he's killed a few people. And I don't know how many people, but, like, you know, he's injured quite a few. Like, there's a lot of, you know, trauma with this guy. And so what the interesting thing is, like, he was a very smart man. And I think, you know, he could have done a lot with his, you know, smartness and everything. And he also had some, like, pretty interesting ideas. So basically one of the reasons why he did this, other than the fact that he definitely had some mental issues, obviously, this is not the normal way to go about anything. But one of the reasons why the main reason I think why he did this is because he believed that, like, technology was wrong, and that he didn't like the way that society, this was like in the 80s, he didn't like the way that society was, like, going into a much more technology-based society. And he was, like, predicting all these problems that were going to come from it. He didn't like environmental destruction. He targeted a lot of, like, you know, people that were maybe damaging the environment. Yeah. And I mean, again, he definitely shouldn't have done what he did, for sure. But I think the ideas are interesting because it's like, okay, now we're, like, seeing it's gotten so much worse than in the 80s. So it's like,
it's interesting.
And the fact that he felt the need to do, I mean, again, he's obviously, he has some mental issues, but the fact that he felt the need to do that to get his, like, message across almost, it's like, I don't know. I thought that was interesting.
That is very interesting. I was going to say, I've seen that come up on my Netflix recommendation. So I'm going to watch it.
It's a little long and I felt it a little boring, but also it's kind of interesting.
Some parts of it. Yeah. I feel like some series, they like draw them out a bit too much where they could be like, I think so. They make it a 4-part episode. And I'm like, you probably could have done that in maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah.
You know, do like an hour and a half long one or whatever. Another interesting thought, and I don't know this one off the top of my head, guys. I was just thinking about this, like, speaking of capitalism, wealth distribution, everything else. I wonder, okay, just a theory, just an idea, if we took all of the wealth in the world, like all of it, all of the money, all of the like whatever, and we actually divided it evenly among everyone.
Oh, we'd be all fine. No?
I wonder how much money that each of us would have. Just out of curiosity. I have no idea. Like,
oh my God, hold on. Maybe there's an article about this.
Do you think so? Because I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, you know, we have these people that are like, you know, obviously billionaires and whatever else. We have like extremely people in extreme poverty. We have some people in the middle. I wonder what would actually happen is if we just said, okay, like, and obviously this is just theoretical, but like, even if we had a better distribution of wealth, like obviously people would be better off. But I wonder like, you know, if we just divided it up among everyone, if that's even... You know, there probably is an article or something, right? Like,
let's see.
Let me see if I can find it. Okay. All wealth.
According to research by Credit Suisse in 2016, the world's total wealth is $256 trillion.
Yeah.
First of all, this is all, again, I feel like money is just a fucking
make
illusion.
believe.
Exactly. It's just like a fucking game people are playing. So this is not even real. This is just like fucking fake shit. Anyways, if every person in the world were given an equal share, you would have $34,133.
Okay.
I mean, that's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
Assuming also that we live in different countries where certain countries, you don't even need that much. You'd be rolling in the dough in certain countries.
Yeah. So
anyways,
it's interesting. Yeah.
It is interesting.
So that shows you if it was
distributed. You know, we don't want no commie society. You know what I'm saying?
God damn. No, obviously, like there's certain things. Like I know we bash capitalism a lot and stuff on this podcast, but also there are some like, you know, good things that do come out of it in some ways. Like not unregulated capitalism, but like, you know, they talk about like, you know, innovation and, you know, driving people to work hard to a point, right? But then then there's that whole balance. And again, I don't know where that fine line is, but that balance of like, when is it too much? You know what I mean?
Having regulation would be the balance. Yeah. Some sort of distribution of wealth would be the balance. Yeah. Paying taxes if you are rich would be the balance, and putting that towards social programs so that people are not starving when there's like a billionaire down the street, you know, like those would be the balance. Like there are answers to this, but it's like nobody, like people are so greedy.
Yeah.
Anyways, so happy thoughts.
Anyway, that's that happy note. Maybe we'll be having a 4-day work week, guys. Maybe that's Danielle, something new in
I'll
the
work
future.
for myself. Ain't no such thing as a 4-day work week.
Rose got a 7-day work week. God
damn. No, I'm also trying to find some balance. Okay, I'm trying to find some balance. I'm trying to enjoy extra, you know, leisure. You know.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be working all the fucking time.
Exactly. Well, you know, as soon as I move downtown, guys, which is happening.
Oh shit, ASAP. Guys! Daniel's growing up.
I am. I'm growing up.
You're a big boy now.
He is. You know, I'll be living by myself. So
very exciting.
Which means we can have
first
time.
Am I part of your cohort?
Yes.
Oh,
shit. I hope so.
Daniel, I have other people in my cohort. I'm just joking.
Okay, well,
I have no one in my cohort, Daniel. Mm-hmm. I'd be alone as hell.
Me too. But yeah, anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed that episode of the craziness that's been going on. You know, so many stories this week. Seriously, like it's just been crazy. And yeah, like
oh, wow. You're really bad at this, guys. Okay. So if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. And of course, if you're, you know, listening to this anywhere, make sure you rate our podcast, tell your friends, tell your family. And guys, okay, join our Patreon. Okay. Our Patreon is growing. We're going to have a March exclusive episode, and we have an exclusive episode for Patreon only every single month for as little as $3 a day. You get all the episodes a week earlier than ever. Oh, sorry guys.
Not a day.
$3 a day. Imagine. Oh my God.
That would be
$3 a month. I'm sorry. $3 a month. And you get every episode a week earlier than everybody else. And there's a bunch of other perks. You can check it out in the description box or the show notes. And make sure you follow us on Instagram at The SaVeg Podcast. And that's pretty much it. What do you think, Daniel?
Yeah, that was great. Thank you so much, Rose. And thank you guys again for tuning in. And we will see you all next week.
Woo-hoo.
Bye.
Bye, guys.